And still on the King, we know the King's Duchy of Cornwall in particular is a very successful enterprise. It's been reported this week that the King is now twice as wealthy as his mother. How does that come about and how is this wealth defined?
So his wealth is defined by all the assets and properties that are held in his name, as well as inheritance from his mother and other members of the royal family. Now, it's alleged that he's worth actually twice what the late Queen Elizabeth is worth. So he's worth around 600 and apparently 70 million pounds, having added an extra 30 million pounds to his wealth since this list was created. So he's somewhere around sort of the, I think, 258th wealthiest person in Britain. But this is just nominal. He can't actually do very much with it. His role as the king and as the monarch, it kind of subsumes his entire life, much like Prince William. All this wealth is just numbers. At the end of the day, they have a place to stay and they have duties to do. I don't think they use their wealth in the way that we would think most people worth that much money would. He certainly doesn't flash it. He's not, buying luxury cars or anything like that. They actually live quite almost like a sort of fishbowl life, which many people actually may not particularly like. What's the point of having all this money when your duty is to others and to your country first and foremost? So it's kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, yes, he is worth a lot of money and the royal estate is worth a fortune, which Prince Harry and his wife know, because they've benefited from it. Even despite the Netflix deals and all of that, he inherited a lot of money from Princess Diana and the Queen Mother. But on the other hand, when you are in this royal fold, when you are a working royal and you're basically a professional ambassador, you don't actually get to enjoy it that much. And so we have to remember that it's not as glamorous as it seems.
Absolutely. Now, Eurovision was on yesterday, and prior to the big show, the Irish Guard sent a message of good luck. Esther, how important is it in modern Britain, essentially, that the British royals embed themselves more broadly in the culture?
Oh, it's absolutely essential. I mean, that's probably what has led to the success of the royal family. The greater success than sort of in mainland Europe, where you have other royals that are really quite minor players in public life. If only we had the Irish Guard as our representatives in Eurovision this year, because the actual group that represented us, Remember Monday, I don't think are going to do very well. I mean, we're looking at 0 points. So the UK is really struggling with our Eurovision entries for some reason. People are saying it's the Brexit effect. We are well past Brexit. It's time for some good talent. But the Irish Guards, of course, pay tribute to them and they wish them all the best, as they should. And I'm hoping in future years we can put up better acts, or even the Irish Guards themselves, because this is getting ridiculous.
We should send the Irish Guards. I think they'd be fabulous. On to the Prince and Princess of Wales. They really seem to be back in the swing of their external-facing engagements. And it seems that they're increasingly cementing their seniority. What's the latest?
So Prince William has now been made Master of the Order of the Bath, which is a 300-year order, which basically celebrates, civil servants and military officials that have, shown excellent service and work in their own field. And this is actually the first time that the king is presenting this as the sovereign of this order. So it's quite, it's one of those historic traditions in Britain that actually means a lot. But it's clearly showing that he's sort of moving up and really gearing up to basically take over the reins from his father, because his father was the master of this order back in 2022, before the passing of his mother. And so it's another title and notch on his belt, and he basically is representing more and more of what his father was before he took over as king.
And tell us about the Wild Gala at Kew Gardens. Princess Beatrice looked absolutely stunning. She was wearing Australian designer Rebecca Valance. Perfect outfit for the occasion. What was the purpose of the event?
So it's actually quite heartwarming. So it was this wildlife charity that was started by Queen Camilla's brother, Mark Shan, before his passing in 2014. And the royal family have actually really supported her and her brother's charity in this way. Obviously, it is to do with wildlife and conservation, so it's something that's very close to the king's heart. But it's actually really nice to see other members of the royal family patronizing this charity. You know, this gala was held in Kew Gardens, and it was very lavish. You had dancers on stilts, and you had all this sort of floral decorations, and really making it kind of like a sort of a conservation bonanza, effectively. But that was the purpose of it, and it's really nice to see that Queen Camilla and the rest of the royal family have supported her and her family in this endeavor. And it just shows sort of how you know, the royal family are more than just the king and Prince William and all of that. They're also other extended members of the family. For Princess Eugenie to come and support this is really quite heartwarming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Esther Kraku.